Hey everybody, it's your man Tyke coming to you with another true spook story. Now before I begin, I'm gonna ask that you hit that like button. Go and subscribe to the channel and share me with your friends and family. If you're thinking not robbery, y'all go ahead and share me. Now these stories are too damn good and too damn true. So without further ado, this story gonna take place in Orlando, Florida area, close to Winter Garden. It's we're gonna taking this thing all the way up to West Colonial, down West Colonial, right over there by the West Oaks Mall. Matter of fact, on the land of the property of where the West Oaks Mall sit now, it was a big old field back in them days. And back in them days right there, it being an open field, orange grove, things like that, people used to take the cars out there and park and get it down. I'm a jit at the time, so around by, this is 1994, 95, up to 96. I ain't number 14, 15, 16. So I'm hearing my brother and my uncle and my aunties and all them there, my sister, my older sister and them talk about how they go out there and they park in the field. Now this land was owned by this old white dude by the name of Mr. Dutch. Now he was a Dutch fella from what grandma was telling me and shit like that. He was a Dutch descent. But so the land was owned by Mr. Dutch, and Mr. Dutch, he didn't give a damn. He knew what kids were doing. He would go out there. He would see the cars parked because his house kind of sat off in the distance. I mean, but you can always see a couple cars parked far. But if he ever ran out there with the flashlight, everybody used to tell me that they would, crank up the car and haul ass, because he didn't have a golf cart. That shit went out and just was a lot of land out there. If I'm not mistaken, about 130 acres, so that's pretty big. I don't know if he owned it all, but the patch that he did own, people used to fuck on it. Mr. Dutch knew grandmama, and the way Mr. Dutch knew grandmama, like grandmama was working at Royal Plaza out there by Disney Springs, and all the Royal Plaza out there by Disney Springs back in the day. And Mr. Dutch, he was somewhat like a supervisor out there, retired, whatever. But he had ties to the Royal Plaza Hotel out that way, so grandma knew him. So we were like, so my sister was like, if I ever get caught, I just got to mention grandma's name and he'll probably let us go. And I want y'all to keep that in mind. He would probably let us go, and stuff like that. But when I say everybody in Orlando was going to this field, fucking, because you could turn off the road and drive back there about 5-10 minutes. And if you park just right, you can see if the police was gonna turn up in there. You could put on your clothes and act like you were chilling, or if Mr. Dutch was coming out the house and coming to you with his flashlight, whatnot, and his dog. You could sit up there and see, him coming. So you had more than enough time to get dressed, put your dick up, put your pussy up, and y'all, you had time. So one night, from what I'm hearing from my sister, and I'm gonna get to my experience on the motherfucking issue. One night I'm sitting up there. I mean, my sister, I'm sitting up there in the house, in the living room at my mama's house, and I think I had just turned 16. No, I had just turned 17. I'm messing with R, and I can't wait for R. I'm like, oh man, you gonna go out there and we gonna fuck in the field, and I'm saying all that. I ain't have my nuts cracked or nothing at the time. I'm just waiting. Boy, I'm waiting on the day I could go out there and knock her ass off in the field. Granted, I could have did it in a mama apartment or in my apartment, when mama went to work. But everybody wanted to go fuck in that field. So I'm like, I can't wait to go fuck in the field. So she was like, man, you ain't got no car. She said, what we gonna do with that? And she said, my brother Rod, he ain't gonna let me fuck you in front of him. He ain't gonna drive us out there and wait. So I'm like, yeah, well, you know what? That is true. So I said, we'll come up with something. So in my mind, I'm 17. I got one more year for I'm 18. I'm like, I got to come up with a plan to knock her off. So my sister, she was in the living room and she was telling me how, you could go around the corner and rent a car from the little choice rental car at the time. It was a little bootleg, little Arabs around that motherfucker. There, you get them something about $200 cash for a night. You can take a little ragged ass beat up jalopy or some shit, drive it around town to go transport your drugs or go grocery shopping in it. I mean, they had a hustle going. They'll give you the keys and say, hey, you got 3 hours with it, bitch, make it happen. and you paying about $150, and they was okay with it. They never closed. You'll knock on that bitch 2 day in the morning, 3 day in the morning. They gonna loan you a car, even if you go do a robbery, whatever. They gonna get you right. So I knew that was the backup plan, that I could sit up there and go fuck with one of the Arabs over there at Choice to get a car. So cool. So that was my backup. Well, my sister said that she had went out there with Reggie. Now, while she was out there knocking down Reggie and shit like that, Mr. Dutch come flying out there. But this time, Mr. Dutch ain't used the flashlight. He had the dog, and he was just walking in the, he had on a little dark raincoat. She said they ain't seeing coming, because she said she was on top of the dude in the back of the car doing what she do. So Mr. Dutch snuck up on him. So when Mr. Dutch snuck up on him, first thing she said, "Oh, I'm sorry." She jumped off old Reggie, from what I'm hearing. I wasn't there, just going on what sister said. She jumped off old Reggie, and Mr. Dutch said, "What are you kids doing?" And he sounded like he was mad, and she was like, "Oh man, I'm caught. He gonna tell grandmama." And Reggie was like, "Man, I'm finna get in trouble, because I'm messing with a minor." Because my sister, she had to be, but she wasn't a minor, because she's like 5 years older than me. It was something Reggie was scared, because he wasn't supposed to be messing with nobody. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was on the sex offender list before it got real popular. Don't quote me on that. So, my sister jumps off of Reggie Ping, and she looking at Mr. Dutch like, "Dog, I'm in trouble." So Mr. Dutch like, "I'm sick of y'all kids coming out here doing all this in my yard and my grass. Don't you have any human decency?" And she said he sounded like he was pissed off, swearing up, mad and shit, right? So she was like, "I'm sorry, Mr. Dutch. How you know my fucking name? Like, everybody know you, Mr. Dutch. You know you good people. My grandmama says she worked with you. Who is your fucking grandma? I'm gonna dance your tell her you're out here, goddamn, with your legs gapped in the air." And we were making fun of the way how white he sounded, how proper he was sounding, and how his voice made a high pitch. Because when my sister did when my sister did the remake, we were laughing our ass off. God rest her beautiful soul. So oh, he said, "A gun use your grandma? I work with her. She's a decent lady. Telling me she raised hooligan kids to sit up here and spread their ass all over the fucking community in a goddamn orange field in the grass hut? How dare you dismember her name?" And my sister was like, he wasn't saying the right word. He was using word, and then spit was coming out his mouth because he was frustrated. So my sister said, and it is what it is, people. I love you, love her to life and death. She said, well, Mr. Dutch, what can I do for you not to tell?" But Mr. Dutch say, "What? You're trying to strike a deal? What you gonna bribe me with? I got money. I got everything. You need to get your ass, put on some clothes, and go the fuck home." So she like, "But you still gonna tell my grandmama?" "You goddamn right I'm gonna do it." So sister said Reggie was like, proposition, say, "Man, you can hit too." And although she wasn't too keen on that shit, she agreed, because she didn't want grandmama to find out and things like that. So Mr. Dutch was like, "Huh?" He was taken by surprise. So basically my sister was gonna turn a trick for him, just so he could keep his mouth shut. But Mr. Dutch, she said Mr. Dutch blurted out, his dick ain't working a minute. So he couldn't get it up, and he was like, "Damn." So that diffused his motherfucking ass. But by being an old, white Dutch fella, lived alone, dick didn't work too right. So he was like, "Y'all kids just get the fuck out of here and don't do this anymore. And goddamn it, I'm sick of you guys on my property. Have some fucking decent human respect. I'm gonna put a gate up, bitches. I'm gonna put the fucking gate up." And so they got dressed and they drove off. So my sister was laughing, and Reggie was still telling the story still to her passing. But basically saying, like, you would have sucked that nigga dick up and fucked him up. That nigga would have got in that little young black pussy, would have busted hard. Then we could have had that house. We could have went in his bed and fucked. Reggie was an old petty ass nigga. So my sister thought Mr. Dutch wasn't gonna tell grandmama about it, but she had already, told who grandma was. So Mr. Dutch go to work, And this is out of grandma's mouth, right? Mr. Dutch go to work. He was like, a gunja. She's like, yeah, Dutch, a gunja. You got a granddaughter? I got several grandbabies. What the fuck you sitting up here asking about them for? No, don't get me wrong. It take grandma to, we all mock him. Don't get me wrong. I just want to say, do you know where your grandbabies be at around about? Like, who gives a fuck where they at? What the fuck you asking about them for? Bitch. So like, now Gunju, me and you always been straight shooters on the same foot, and I never want to disrespect you because you's always a tough lady. But your granddaughter propositioned me and said that she would do things to me, not to tell you she was out there with that boy Reg. What? Which one? And he described my sister. And she got this name that she called my sister. She was like, oh, Panda Luck? Well, if that's what you call her, but she offered to, give me some sexual services. And then grandma say she stared at him because, at the time my sister was fine as shit, y'all. So he was like, and you didn't take it, bitch? Did you touch my granddaughter? So grandma say that's when she reached down in her blade and in her purse and pulled out a blade and was pointing it at him and said, no, that's why I'm here to tell you that she offered. And then he made the talk to grandmama. He said, well, I ain't gonna lie, I would have fucked her. I ain't never have no dark girl. I would have fucked her, but guess what? My dick ain't got hard in over 10-15 years. I would very much love to put my dick in something. So he started laughing, and grandma was like, grandma was kind of relieved, and grandma started making jokes with him at the same time. Oh, well, you limp dick, bitch. I'm gonna nickname you Crinkle Cut from here on out. That's when human resource wasn't too cold back in the day. You can get away with shit like that. So they had a nice little joke and laughed that shit off from what I hear. Grandma tell the story, and it was pretty damn funny. So grandma said, I think I need to help you out with that. She said, can I come out there to the house? I know where you at. You out there by where the Lotto Mall used to be. He said, yeah, that's my property. Sit back there. I said, well, I'm going to drive out there and we're going to talk. I may be able to help you with something. What? He said, it's a lot you don't know about me. You just shut your goddamn mouth while you at work. I got you. If you can help me get my shit up and I can fuck again, woo. So he left happy. Happy as a buck and shit. So, grandmama just around there chilling. She laughing. When she get home, she beat she beat my sister ass like it was nobody business. She fucked her up. Pop, 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 pop. Not because she was out there doing what she had to do. She was out there, and she got caught doing it, and she gave her name. See, in my family, if you get caught doing some shit, you don't name names. You take that L and you say, oh, I'm Miss Sue May nephew or grandson. So now they gonna put Miss Sue May name in a bad light. They're not gonna sit up there and put a Gunja name in a bad light. So that's why my sister got her ass whooped up on. So true to word, grandma say, I'm like 16, 17 years old. So now the story gonna take place with me. So grandma say, boy, get in the car, let's go. I said, where we headed, grandma? She said, why, nigga? I said, grandma, god dang, man. I said, I gotta go see she like, you ain't gonna get none of that little young pussy tonight, bitch. Get in the car. Ha ha ha, you nuts, horny. I can see them bulging through your tight ass motherfucking pants. Loosen them pants up before you get nut cancer, bitch. I said, grandma, don't talk to me like that. She said, she was just like, get your ass in the car. I'll get you some ice cream on the way home. I'm like, okay, shit. Keep in mind, I had just started losing weight. I would stop eating the sugar. My ass was still fat in the brain, but fit in the body. So I said, all right. So me and grandma hop in the car. She driving the Buick up the road and shit. I said, grandmama, you driving without no music on. What's wrong? She said, no, I'm trying to make sure I talk to the ancestors while I drive because I want to help this white man out and give him a spell. to help his penis get hard again. I say, huh? She say, yeah, he say he ain't fucking a while. I say, grandma, I say, what we finna do? I say, what we finna do? You taking me out here with this mother sucker and you trying to do a spell. I say, I'm your right hand spell caster. I ain't finna be stroking some old nigga dick, man, especially some old white nigga dick. Damn, let me keep it culturally appropriate. I'm saying all kind of crazy shit to grandma. She just laughing, but she still is silent because I'm not. I see that I got her smiling and she ain't worried. So I'm saying all kind of homoerotic shit, just to throw off the mood. So she just laughing. She said, boy, baby, I love you. She said, I wouldn't put you in no situation like that. And so we get there. She turned down there, and now we turn it up in a big ass field. Now, people, I was like looking, the field was big, man. It's a lot of acres, and you had to turn off Colonial. If I could take it back to the day, you have to turn off Colonial right before you got to the Waffle House. If you were going up that way, it's a little side street. Now they got apartments, they got a racetrack, all that shit right there. But you would have to turn right, and when you turn right, you drive it all the way back there, almost felt like you finna run into Winter Garden, the back skirts of Winter Garden. But that was all his land, and his house sat further deep in that bitch. It was a lone little house, his shit, his land, Mr. Dutch. So grandma go up there and she pull up in there. You gotta catch the rope on the page, but you tell another car to come on back. Go up into his house. I get out of my window. Hey, Mr. Dutch, grandma outside. So we come storming out there. Like a plate of biscuits. He had made some fresh biscuits and shit. I'm running out there with a plate of biscuits. She say, Dutch. He said, yeah, Gunja. Sat it down and he just sitting up there like shaking and happy. It done turned red as a goddamn beet. Dutch. Yeah, Gunja. You got a secondary car in that backyard right there yonder. He said, yeah, I ain't drove that car in years. It's still working, everything. He said, why, you looking to buy it? I sell it. I'm selling the land. I'm selling everything. So she like, no, I just want you to really crank it up and drive it over here to me. So he said, let your grandboy do it. I'm talking to you. Put him to work. Me and you got business. So that's why, so when he said that, that's why I thought he was going to sit up there and, lay cock off on grandma ass. She just had me there to keep it distracted, back up, whatnot. She said, listen to me. You go get the goddamn car and drive it up here next to mine. But he like, all right. So he went in the house, fumbled around about 5-10 minutes, went out the back door, I'm assuming. And that thing, car crank up, he drive it over there. Now, this car was a white Chevy Nova type shit, old classic motherfucker. It was old then, but it was old classic. So he sat up there and he was like, hey, here's the car. What you want to do? So grandma say, well, could you take my grandboy in the house? I got to do some stuff. And to this car say, just sit him down in front of the TV and you come your ass back on out here and we got something to do. So he said, come on, boy. He loved calling me fucking boy. I can't stand it to this day. Come here, boy. Come on. Get in this house, boy. You heard the grandma. I'm like, boy, I'm 17, bitch. Talking about, boy, get your ass fucked up in here. Come back and rob you later, Dutch. Fucking with me. I already know you ain't got no security system in that dog old as fuck. I done sized him up now. Don't you call me out my name too fucking many times, right? So, Dutch put me down in front of the TV. I'm sitting down, chilling, relaxing, all that good stuff. He rushed back out to grandmama, gave me some chocolate chip cookies and some milk and shit. I'm like, okay, I ain't never had milk and cookies put together. I done had milk separately and then cookies. separately, bitch. I never had a plate of cookies where you could dip it in the milk like on the TV commercial. Chips Ahoy, bitch. So I'm like, okay, Dutch cool as fuck. So grandma go outside with Dutch, and her and Dutch talking over the car. Grandma wiping some kind of resin that she done tapped, and she got some kind of oilish looking resin that she wiping down the car with, sort of like pine sol resin. And she wiping the car down with it on the outside, on the tires, on the door handle, on the door. So basically she told him, get that bucket over yonder. She said, go, I heard her, get that bucket over there yonder. Put some soap water in it, and then come back over here. You get a sponge. Say, I'm sorry you put on them nice clothes, but bitch, you ain't gonna have to wear them no more. So he like, what? So grandma made him wash the car. So grandma done made some herbs and shit. She had it in a bottle. I know what I'm talking about, y'all. Like, the herb, she had it sitting there so long that it turned kind of black, real thick viscousy, like oil. That's all I can tell you. But man, maybe my memory just ain't my memory just ain't, man, I can't call it. Maybe it was just scum, like palm scum or something. But either way, she poured it all over the car, wiped it down all over the car. And it was a white car, so you could saw the bitch was really covered. I'm turning around looking out the window, seeing her do that. And while she wiping down on the car, she done made Mr. Dutch go get a bucket of soap water and shit. And he finna wash that shit off with the water hose or whatnot. So grandma still sitting up there. She started saging the car. And she and before he could get there and wash it, she said, now I want you to sit in this goddamn car. She had smeared it on the seats and everything. Listen, grandmama had some kind of potent magical shit she had going on, y'all. So she smeared it all over the seats, and the seats was nice and white and everything like that. I said, whoa, man, she fucked that car up. I said, she must be mad at old Dutch ass. I say, but I ain't in it. I'm sitting down eating my little cookies, watching TV. Then I look out the window, making sure grandma okay. He ain't swing on her nothing. Man, grandma told him, get in the car. She said, what I want you to do is just drive around this here property. She said, go back and forth around this here property. So she drove. So he's like, what? She said, I'm teaching you how to get your dick hard. Don't you want to fuck again? Yeah. He said, but my clothes gonna get dirty and I'm gonna be sitting on a greasy car seat. She said, didn't I tell you what to do? See, that's the problem with you crackers. Y'all just can't listen for shit. Get in the car. I'm fixing you, bitch. Okay, Gunja, I trust you. I trust you. I trust you this far. You're a sweet lady. I trust you this far. So Mr. Dutch get in the car. He doing donuts around his property. I mean, he going along the property line, and he flushing that bitch through the grass, through the fields, like it ain't nobody been the Dukes of Hazzard, baby. And grandma just sitting up there. And every time he passed, grandmama like had a little chicken foot, and she'll like sway it down like the racer flags, like go. She'll sway it down. He'll pass by ass again. As soon as he passed by again, she'll sway him down. Go. She did that shit 7 to 9 times. When she pulled them in with the chicken foot, she reined them in, and she scratched the tires of she scratched the car tires with the chicken feet at the bottom. She dipped it in the little syrup shit, and she scratched the tires, man, with the chicken foot. She went around the whole car. So 1 scratch, 2 scratch, 3 scratch, 4 scratch. She took the chicken foot, people, made them pop the hood, and she put the chicken foot in between the battery of the car, because the battery sit in the front in that time. She put it in the battery, between the battery and whatever little circle thing that blows, but on the right hand side of the car. But the chicken foot stayed in between the battery and the car. It is what it is. I'm just telling you what I know. So she said, get that bucket and clean this motherfucking car. She said, I'll see you at work tomorrow. I need you. She said, I'll see you at work tomorrow, and I need you to drive this car to work. I need you to know that it's driving and it's work good, and just drive the car to work. He said, I ain't drove this car in years. I drive it to work. Okay. Grandma called me out the house. I left the plate of milk and cookies, because I only ate like 1 or 2 cookies. I left the plate of milk and cookies sitting right there in the living room on the floor where I was sitting, where I could see out the window. Got in the car. Grandma was tired. She said, boy, can't you drive yet? I said, no, ma'am. She said, goddamn lazy ass nigga. You supposed to be driving by now. How old you will? I said, I'm 17, be 18 soon. She said, I was driving when I was 12. I say, they didn't have cars when you were 12, lady. She started laughing. She like, well, bitch, if they did, I would have been driving. Come on, let's go. So we making jokes. So we stopped by 7-Eleven and I get me some Häagen-Dazs ice cream. And she bought me my own pint this time. So I ain't go for vanilla, y'all. I tried to be fancy and go for chocolate chip. She said, what you eat that shit for? I said, I want to try something. She said, don't waste my money. You gonna eat it all too. That shit nasty. Get the vanilla like me. I said, Grandma, let me eat. So we laughing and shit, and we parked like right outside 7-Eleven, and then we just ate ice cream together. And then she like went back and dropped me back off at my mama's house and stuff. So she went to work, and so this is her story now. So she went back to work, and old Mr. Dutch come driving the car. He done wiped that bitch down, spruce mousse on that motherfucker, spruce mousse. He got that bitch looking good. So he had nicknamed the car Spruce Mousse. She talking about, look at me driving old Spruce Mousse. And she like, what the fuck is a Spruce Mousse? He like, you don't know nothing about that. So now he told Grandmama, he say, listen, I woke up this morning to go piss. And man, my dick was standing at attention. I ain't know what to do. She say, did you take care of it, bitch? And they joking and shit. He said, no. He said, I didn't know what to do. He said, the bitch felt so good to be hard again. I just want to walk around with it. So Grandma and them laughing. So Grandma said she grabbed it and she squeezed it to me. You got something to be a white boy. She said, I like white boy. I've been fucking Mr. James for a long time. And she told, Dutch she was fucking Mr. James, right? And he said, oh, Jimmy been splitting dark puss. So they had a nice little joke. So, because Grandma liked white men too. Now, don't get that shit twisted. She'll let a white man get that pussy. So, she said that now she done became good friends. So now Mr. Dutch laying down all the ladies in the job. He ain't sparing none. That dick done got hard. Mr. Dutch ain't sparing none, baby. He fucking his ass off. So she said Mr. Dutch went to fucking for a long time. Just a long old time, say for years, Mr. Dutch sitting out there fucking. But Mr. Dutch told Grandmama, well, I don't be at home that much, and I wondering if your grandson would like to make a little money. And like, what you want my grandson to do? Well, I need him to go in there and take care of my dog and everything, because I'm going on dates now. I might be getting married soon. And I'm getting ready to sell that land, so it's gonna be a lot of money involved, and I may just leave the boy something. She said, well, I ask him. He's 17. Them hard-headed ass kids at 17. Ask him. So, now back to my life. So now I'm looking at, my sister already told me they used to go on Mr. Dutch's property to sit up there and fuck in cars and shit. So Mr. Dutch, he comes out there. Grandma take me to Mr. Dutch's house and say, well, what you gonna need him to do? Give me strict instructions so I make sure he know. Mr. Dutch say, listen, the house is yours. Do what you want to do. You catch the city bus up here. You get off the city bus. You go a key to the house. Only thing you got to do, come in, feed the dog, watch a little TV, hang out. Say around by 7, 8 o'clock at night, you get back on that bus. You go back home to your grandmama. And I'll make sure you have a couple dollars left by the door every time you get here. Because I normally get home 9:30. Grandma say, boy, that's easy money. So that was my first job, babysitting Mr. Dutch's house on that land right before he sold it. So Mr. Dutch wasn't driving the white car everywhere. He was just driving his other car, but he would drive that car to work certain days, I guess when he wanted to get a dick erection, because it had something to do with the car in the open road. And what Grandma did, that anytime he got horny or he needed to get a dick erection, he'll sit up there and drive the motherfucking car fast as fuck, drive it around town a little bit, charge his batteries, so to say. And then he'll go on by 2-3 weeks without driving the car. So now I'm getting curious, because I know Grandma fucked this car up with all kind of dirt and grime and oil, but he had scrubbed that bitch by hand, made the bitch look real good. I say, what's the issue with this here motherfucking car? So while he gone, I see him left the keys over there on the little key holder by the front door. I don't know how to drive. So I go and I get in the car, I crank the bitch up. So when I cranked the bitch up, I made sure to keep my foot on the brake. And I ain't dropping in no gear because it was like one of the ones on the level where you take your right hand and you pull the bitch to you, and you drop down 1, 2, 3 to get it in gear. So I ain't do none of that, but I was faking like I was in that bitch, zooming, hitting the gas with my foot on the brake, but it wasn't in gear. So all of a sudden, my dick started getting hard as fuck. I'm like, teeth started gritting like a bitch had took some ecstasy. And I'm like, man, where are it? So now while I'm behind the wheel of the car, I'm like, man, I need to get off.